Hello, children of the cosmos, dwellers of the simulation. Thank you for joining me and thank you for listening. This is Unidentified Education Podcast, your source for the unidentified, unknown, unsolved happenings of this world, the simulation in which we live in. I am your guide. I am your host. Call me Mr. G, or Gibby, or Gilly, doesn't matter. I will help you. I will guide you through the back ways of the simulation, the back door, if you will, so that we're undetected for the time being. Thank you for listening. I do this for you and for my mental stability. Guys, feel free when you get some time, no rush. Visit my YouTube channel. I'm kind of spiffing it up, adding little bedazzles here and there, and I'm going to start my Instagram pretty soon. I'm going to have little snippets and little recordings I do, almost like I'm not too big in audio video, but I'm going to do like audio stories and audio snippets, little artsy fartsy things with audio. So if you guys are interested, I'm going to get started on that pretty soon. So I'll have a link to the YouTube channel, Instagram, and I'll put exclusive content on the YouTube side, and I'll put exclusive content on the Instagram side. So, switch it up. That way you're not seeing the same thing. It's been like rainy and humid here in Texas. I'm not ready for the summer, but it's gonna get here. I'm gonna have to hook up the unit to the window and blast that thing because it gets hot. Let's see. Did you guys see Obama admitting that UFOs are real? Too cool. That's, usually presidents play around with that topic. But he said that there are, with these videos coming out. And now the Pentagon started releasing these other videos, but really they were leaked. These were leaked UFO footages, and the naysayers, the non-believers, the ones who don't believe, they're just knocking it left or right. But they're deciphering the numbers on the side of the screen, and they're saying, oh, it's just something that's actually standing still, and the jet's going the speed in which they think the object is. It's optical illusion. Don't you think that the U.S. Air Force would know and kind of get that? You're just because look, I'm an avid YouTuber and I think I know a thing or two, but come on, we're talking about military intelligence. If they don't know what it is, the average Joe Schmo, he ain't going to know what it is unless he's some kind of brilliant recluse. So yeah, Obama was, he basically said, he said jokingly he can't comment on aliens, but he said that UFOs are UAPs. I don't know why they changed it. They should stick with UFOs. They're saying UAPs, but somebody brought up it was on a podcast. I don't know if it was I don't know which one it was, but somebody said it was just a ploy to have the U.S. military beef up their fundings. But they do that. They do that all the time. So, but that's pretty dang exciting. I think it's going to be a big letdown. It's kind of like when you're about to light a big old firecracker and then it's a dud. It's like that. It's like, oh man, they're showing this thing that looks good, and it's like, well, yeah, we don't know what it is, and it could be a lens flare, it could be this or that, but we don't know what it is. It's gonna be a big letdown. But I'm gonna try to stay positive, and hopefully we'll find out. It's probably Russia or China. I don't know. It's gonna be non-interstellar, probably. It's going to be a good episode today. I'm going to talk a little bit about a weird dream I had. And I'm thinking about turning it into like an audio story. It just takes so much time. I don't know how these YouTubers and podcasters do it, but it just takes a lot of time, especially when you're working and it's like another job. But like I said, I like doing this. It's for my mental stability, and I like, if you guys want to listen, hey, I'm just going to keep doing it. If one person listens, great. If 10 people listen, that's awesome. Pass it down. I'll get better and things will get more interesting, and it's just stick with me. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting episode. I'm going to talk a little bit about these microwaves that are affecting CIA employees. That's going to be an interesting story. And a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's going to be a good little show. And thank you for listening. Like I said, check out the YouTube channel. Check out the Instagram channel. I'll slowly start adding more and more content. And if you guys want to listen, great. If you don't, just have me in the background. While you're making breakfast or something, or dinner, or sleeping. Let me soothe you to sleep with my buffoonery. So I'll be back shortly after a word from my sponsor, and I'll see you then. Welcome back. Now that we have officially unplugged from the simulation, because you are receiving this transmission, we can be at ease. We can be ourselves. I will not judge you for listening. I will talk, but I will listen as well. I love YouTube. I'm thinking YouTube is going to be the new media source. These multi-billion-dollar CNN, Fox, they're gonna eventually, they're not gonna be on the food chain anymore. YouTube and Facebook, they're just getting more powerful. I'm not hating on it. It's the future, but I think they're going to end up paving the way for a new source material. The people's media, something like that. I don't know. It's all the same, but I'm thinking it's gonna turn to a big. Cause so many people are on YouTube, and they're making their money. These kids, they'll buy. I don't know how they do it unless their parents are helping them, and then once they make money, they can do it. But they rent out homes, and they call them content houses, and they just do shenanigans there. And they're young, we're gonna stack 10. It's like Lord of the Flies. They're stacking 10. What do you call those? Trampolines. And then they dare one of them to stay in one of, and they go like on the very top, and one of them will stay inside a trampoline, because it creates a crevice. So, one's on the top, one's on the bottom, and they're challenging him to stay all night, and they're throwing water at him and making him go through all kinds. It's just like Lord of the Flies, and they're just like getting views and getting paid. It's like, what else? It's getting out of hand. It's crazy. Don't tell me what we would do if we had I don't know what I would do. I'd probably do the same thing. I'd gather kids and I want you to jump, knowing me. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to, run in, I would do the same thing, just weird, wacky things and record it. But they're getting paid for it. Man, they're making so much money. They're at a young age and they don't know what to do with it. They're going crazy. They're making all kinds of mistakes. They're suing each other. It's just like, wow. What a crazy way to grow up, grow up and you're a millionaire, and you don't even know, you can't even fathom the amount of money you're making, and you're just like living in a fantasy world, but with money. They'll do episode, we're going to play Mario Kart and the winner gets 100,000. And these poor followers that are, the roadies that are with them are just like trying to play the game so that the content creator who made all the money is, there, a lot of times there were stories where they're living in a mansion, and it really, there's like, they rented out the mansion, and it's, there's not, for them, they're sleeping on the floor. They don't have clothes. They don't have no food to eat because the content creator's young and he's just worried about himself and he has all the money. It's not like he's, being responsible and feeding them every day. So they're just there in this mansion, sleeping on the floors, trying to survive so that they can make more media, and they're promising them money as they make it. So it's like, it's all fake. It's like, yeah, I'm in a mansion, but I'm on a floor and I'm cold and I need a blanket and I have this and all that. It's crazy what these kids are doing. It's like it's a wild, wild west right now. We got to enjoy it while we can, because the internet it'll be censored. I mean, there's no way. We're just having too much fun with it. They're having too much fun, making the millions, and these companies know what they're doing. They get eager kids and they're just willing to sign a contract, and the company's going to make bunches of money. And, the kids are like, yeah, I'm going to make millions too. And they're just like in over their heads. Crazy. But that's YouTube. That's the internet for you. That's a new day and age. Everybody wants a piece of that. Then I was thinking too, our theater's dead, like going to the movie theaters. Because, at home you could save a whole lot of money. I wonder if theaters will ever go back. I would like to go back to a theater. I mean, I've been to one. But, they can't really serve you food. You have to order it separately, and it's not the same. It's kind of just cheaper staying home, ordering it, and sit and watch the newest thing on HBO. These celebrities, these celebrities are bored. I mean, they're not working right now, and they're all making podcasts. They're just not leaving us room for us small guys. But they're talking, they sit there and they talk about their successful failures. Successful failures. It's like, I'm a well-known actor. I've been in a good TV show, well-known TV show. I made money. But this one thing that made me upset because it didn't, it did horrible as a movie. And maybe it bothers them. But it's like, come on, man. You were in a movie. You did it. If it bombed, but you were in a movie. And millions of dollars were spent on it. I'm not going to say what celebrity it was, but come on. You're sitting there and they're kind of like acting like us. And a lot of them are normal, but then the super ones, the rich ones, are just out of there. But it's like, come on, you guys are just bored. Once everything goes back to the way it was, you guys are going to be on the road making movies, and you're just going to completely dump the idea of podcasting, and podcasting percentages will go down. Right now, it's at an all-time high. But it'll go down. Once all the celebrities leave, the comedians, a lot of the comedians moved to Texas, which is weird, and they're going to start their own little groupies over here. But it'll all go back, and they'll I'm sure some will go back to podcasting, but a lot of them, they'll make more money on the road. They'll move on to bigger, better things. They'll leave room for us small guys. I'm an expert at YouTube. I will YouTube for hours and hours. I don't even watch TV anymore. It's either YouTube, because I'll get my media sources there, and it's just back to the movie, or a Netflix or whatever. So that's where I'm seeing these that's where I'm seeing all these celebrities vent out and quotations be normal and get all intimate with their podcasting, but they're just like they're like us. They're just like us, and they're they like us, but with money. It's like, I always wanted to, save animals and do this, but I just don't have time or the money. Well, that's them. Celebrities, they have the time and the money right now, and they're doing all kinds of crazy things they're getting themselves into, and it's just a big old hot mess. I don't know when it's going to end or not. But I'm going to take a small break, and we'll talk about a little bit of that weird dream I had, and we'll do a recap and end the show. So stick around. I forgot to tell you guys, the Russians, they think. There were CIA employees complaining in Havana, Cuba, that they were, I think they were calling it Havana Syndrome. And they were complaining that they had vertigo, headaches. They would hear, sounds, hallucination, psychological issues of the brain. And they weren't really sure. They blamed poisoning, and the government kind of, turned their heads and had no explanation for it. Well, now they're starting to freak out because people are being targeted around the White House. So they believe that the Russians have created a microwave ray gun type thing, and they point it at somebody, and you start having brain issues. It short circuits the brain or does something to the brain where the victim will hear ringing and nausea, and they just cannot function. They're going through like a mental breakdown. They'll hear noises, they'll see things, their nose are bleeding, and the doctors don't know what's going on. They're probably prescribing them, all kinds of psych meds, and oh, you're dehydrated. Oh, you need psych meds. They don't know. So now the government's finally, the people they're trying to get the government to start investigating what's really going on. I can only imagine, people hear, you hear throughout the years, people suffer from delusions and hallucinations. And what if the whole time they're actually pointing a ray gun at them, or not a ray gun, but a microwave weapon, and it's just distributed throughout, a city, and the person thought they were crazy, and Turns out, well, you're not crazy. It was a weapon and it was pointed at you, and all that weird hallucinations you had was just because you're not crazy. It's just the microwave weapon. That is, that's the worst thing when when the doctors can't figure out what's wrong with you, and you're just, your nose is bleeding. You're hearing voices, and your own government's turning their head. You're like, you just feel like that's just weird, crazy story. You guys got to look it up. I think they call it Havana syndrome, and then whatever it is, it's in America, and they're targeting mostly CIA. They're not just targeting civilians. So, but if you are feeling that you have, you're feeling dizzy, nosebleeds, hallucination, you never know. You might be having a microwave gun pointed at you. Now, your microwave is not going to do it. So don't, you heat up a burrito, you're not going to start hearing voices. But I had this weird dream that I was, I don't know, I wasn't me. I was like almost in another, I was like in this weird church. And I guess it was like a church where you stay, maybe. And it happened in how dreams are. You just kind of, you end up there. And you're in a situation and you're just like, you're not questioning it because it's a dream. But you're just there. And so, in the dream, I believe it was like a sibling. I guess I had a sister. And she was like, and we were in a church, a Catholic church, I guess. I don't remember seeing crosses. But I assume it was an old church. Like, high ceiling type, the old Catholic churches. High ceilings, echoing, your big, the organ, the everything. Just imagine your old Catholic castle-like church thing. So we were there, and then my sister, not my real sister, but my dream, and that sounds weird, my dream sister. She was in the room, and in your dream, you just kind of know. And I just remember she was like possessed, and I wasn't so much freaked out by the possession because there was like, I don't remember seeing a room where her in it surrounded by priests, but in my dream, I just knew she was in a room, in a dark hallway of the church, in a room, I guess, where like nuns sleep. I guess I would, to paint a picture. And in that room, there was like priests doing some kind of, exorcism. And I remember being in this church-like, Catholic old church, ancient church-like place. And something felt wrong, I guess, your siblings being exorcised in an old church by priests. But I remember walking and exploring, and then there was like a menacing man. I don't know if he was a priest or not, so I don't want to offend anybody. But, I don't remember him being a priest. And he was kind of like telling me everything was going to be okay. And I just had a weird feeling about him. And so I remember, walking and exploring. And I was like, I was dragging my hand on the stained glass. It was like a hallway with like windows, and some of them were stained glass, and some of them were, it was like a wall. And I remember pushing my hand on like a panel of the wall, and the panel felt hollow as if something was on the other side. And in my dream, I had no idea, it just happened. In my dream, I fall through, but I didn't break it. I guess it was like a door, and it just the way it opened, I stumbled in I was in another hallway behind, a secret entrance, and, the windows that I passed by in the hallway, the other side of them was in that hallway that I was in, but they were stained glass, and you couldn't see through it, but you can see the shadow of the light, or you can see the reflecting light that's going through this secret hallway where the windows were, where I was rubbing my hand, I guess. And so the menacing man that I talked to I felt like he was behind, like following me. So I tried to, as I'm walking down this secret, hallway path, I could hear people behind me, and I knew it wasn't supposed to be there. So I'm walking down this hallway and I'm trying to, not escape, but just like, I guess outmaneuver them. I don't know, try to find another way out. And I end up being in this auditorium type place. Not an auditorium, but imagine like a, the old Victorian times when they would do surgery and then you would sit like on benches and surrounding the table, so there'd be like, witnessing. It could be a group or a class or a congress of people just observing the surgery. It's kind of like that. It was kind of a little stage. It was dark and the area was dark and it was just like you had a weird, strange feeling that something was going to happen. Like I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there, and just like a weird feeling of like what something not good goes down in this auditorium. And there were like seats, like benches, like wood, I guess. It was dark in there, and there was row by row by row, because that's where like a stage and like a theater. And there, instead of just theater seats, there were benches. It was like an old church, so I guess kind of like wooden pews, maybe, to get your idea. And I remember witnessing it, and I look where the stage would be or where the surgical table would be. It was like like a small table, like an altar, I guess, but on. It was like where a baby goes. And my mind was like, oh my God. Altar, a place where baby goes. And all I thought was sacrifice. And then I'm realizing this place is not a church, but something different. And then I just remember seeing a group of people in robes. And they're chanting. It was real low. And the room was filling with these people, wearing, I don't know if they're wearing robes. They're all just they were real dark, shadowy people. And I guess they were covered. It was a dark room, and they were all, congregating around the altar as if they were going to witness. In my mind, I don't know if it was like a sacrifice. There was no baby there, but in my mind, it's like, oh my God, they're going to sacrifice something, a child. I don't know what it was. But it was a freakiest dream, and I'm thinking about turning it into a short story, and I guess I kind of ruined it for you guys. Maybe I'll change it up a little bit. But that's just a weird dream that I had. I don't know. It's just something that stuck with me. So recap, what did we learn? We learned that Russians are messing with our brain waves. And I'm not hitting on Russians, the Russian government, or whoever is. They're messing with our brain waves. Obama admitted to UFOs. YouTube is a wild, wild west, and celebrities are getting bored. And if you think you're losing your mind or hearing voices, it's probably a microwave gun, or you're just mentally unstable and need to go to see a psychiatrist. Either that, I wish you the best of luck. We're all not perfect. We all have got something going on. I want to thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit my YouTube channel and Instagram. It's going to get going. I'm going to have little snippets here, little golden nuggets of awesomeness and view for your listening pleasure. But thank you for listening, guys. I wish you the best of luck, positive thoughts and happiness towards you. And I will see you next time. Good night.